The Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara addressed the Buddha and said, "World-honored one, what is the reason for the sequence of the 6 perfections in your preaching?" The Buddha answered the Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara and said, "Good son, the former are the support that enables one to produce the latter. This means that bodhisattvas are able to acquire purified discipline through being generous with their physical possessions, through giving. They practice patience because they guard discipline. By practicing patience, they become capable of producing zeal. By producing zeal, they become capable of accomplishing meditation. Endowed with meditation, they become able to obtain transcendent discernment. This, then, is the reason for the sequence of the 6 perfections in my preaching." The Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara addressed the Buddha and said, "World-honored one, what are the various subdivisions of these 6 perfections?" The Buddha answered the Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara and said, "Good son, each has 3 subdivisions. The 3 subdivisions of giving are the giving of doctrine, the giving of material goods, and the giving of fearlessness. The 3 subdivisions of discipline are the discipline to turn away from what is not good, the discipline to turn toward what is good, and the discipline to turn toward benefiting sentient beings. The 3 subdivisions of patience are the patience to endure insult and injury, the patience to abide peacefully in suffering, and the patience to investigate doctrine. The 3 subdivisions of zeal are the zeal which protects one like armor, the zeal to exert effort in engendering good, and the zeal to exert effort in benefiting sentient beings. The 3 subdivisions of meditation are the meditation of abiding in happiness, which counteracts all the suffering of passion because it is non-discriminative, tranquil, very tranquil, and irreproachable. The meditation that engenders the good quality of concentration, and the meditation that produces benefit for sentient beings. The 3 subdivisions of discernment are the discernment that has as its object worldly conventional truth, the discernment that has as its object the truth of ultimate meaning, and the discernment that has as its object the benefiting of sentient beings." The Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara addressed the Buddha and said, "World-honored one, why are these perfections called perfections?" The Buddha answered the Bodhisattva of Avalokiteshvara and said, "Good son, there are 5 reasons. They are unattached, disinterested, irreproachable, non-discriminative, and fruitful. They are unattached because they are not attached to the opposites of the perfections. They are disinterested because the thought that accompanies them is not bound to the maturation or reward resulting from any of the perfections. They are irreproachable because such perfections have nothing in common with defiled states and are apart from implementing evil methods. They are non-discriminative because the specific descriptions of these perfections do not cling to their literal meaning. They are fruitful because such perfections, when practiced and accumulated, turn toward and seek the result of supreme awakening." World-honored one, what are the opposites of these perfections? Good son, you should understand that there are 6 such opposite vices. The first is looking out for one's own advantage and seeking happiness by hankering after pleasure, wealth, and power. The second is looking out for one's own advantage and indulging the pleasures of body, speech, and mind. The third is looking out for one's own advantage in being impatient when humiliated by others. The fourth is looking out for one's own advantage in not bestirring oneself to practice and being attached to pleasure. The fifth is looking out for one's own advantage in the hectic confusion and wild activity of the world. The sixth is looking out for one's own advantage in the fabrication of what one sees, hears, understands, knows, and says. World-honored one, what is the resultant maturation of all these perfections? Good son, you should understand that in some there are 6 kinds. The first is the attainment of great wealth. The second is going to and being born in good destinies. The third is the full joy and happiness of peace and concord. The fourth is being a ruler over sentient beings. The fifth is the absence of bodily torment. The sixth is great renown and fame. World-honored one, how do these perfections become mixed up with defiled states? Good son, in some there are 4 such situations. When they are related to the absence of compassion, to the absence of reasonableness, to the absence of continuity, or to the absence of diligence. A situation is unreasonable when, by practicing one perfection, one puts off and neglects the practice of the other perfections. World-honored one, what is meant by unskillful methods? Good son, if the bodhisattvas, in benefiting sentient beings through their perfections, were to rely upon material goods to bring sentient beings benefit and render them happy, and would not bother to lead them away from evil or establish them in good, that would be an unskillful method. Why is that, good son? It is because it is not true that the one who does such things is really benefiting sentient beings. Whether one has a small amount or a great heap of excrement and urine, it can never be used as perfume. Similarly, because sentient beings suffer because of their actions, and because their nature is suffering, it is impossible to lead them to happiness simply by the method of providing them with fleeting images of material things. The best benefit would be to establish them in good.